Hello, and welcome to Ben and Matt Watch Game of Thrones.
Matt, why do you have an open flame here during our review?
Brought to you by the sci-fi-christian.com.
You've had swords and you've had hammers during our various reviews, but this is the first time you had an open flame. I'm not sure I'm entirely comfortable with this.
It's from the story of Fire and Ice.
Should we see if you are a Targaryen and won't burn?
And this is our last episode about season 1, and it's kind of a sad moment. So this is kind of like, it's like a remembrance flame.
And by the way, I am Ben DeBono.
Welcome, Ben.
Welcome. Yeah, this is our Game of Thrones Season 1 wrap-up, Matt.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe we made it. I mean, when we first started this, I did not know I was going to get into the show like I did.
You were only watching it because we were doing reviews at a Sci-Fi Christian.
Yeah, and I almost didn't even watch the pilot episode.
Yeah.
I just happened to be traveling for work. It was on at my hotel, and there it was. I watched it.
And I believe that if you go back to our first review, you, I believe, said there, or it might have just been in a conversation between us, but I think you said on the review that you got through that first scene and it was so violent, and you said, "Why am I watching this?"
That is true. I probably, if I didn't know that you were watching it and wanted me to watch it, I probably would have changed the channel at that point.
Yeah, but yet here you are, end of season 1.
Wow.
And you're a fan.
I'm a fan. In fact, I'm about ready to listen to the audiobook now, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. We'll talk to you about that at the end.
Because what we have here in our hands are awards.
End of the season awards.
End of the season awards. Maybe we should start, though, by just give some general impressions on the season.
Alright.
We kind of talked about your arc from being a little unsure about it to being a fan, but flesh that out for me.
You're right. It's just like the characters had an arc. You and I had a story arc of our own.
Had an arc.
So if you followed my story, you saw that I was less of a fan, and I gradually got more and more interested, more and more understanding.
Oh yeah, your understanding definitely
of
grew.
the world and the characters.
Yeah.
I was able to recognize them by name.
Rather than just referring to Jorah Mormont as the translator.
Right. So now I know he is an exiled knight.
Yes.
And there's other things about him.
He's an exiled knight. He's been exiled.
He's got a family. He's got a family, like a dad who works at the wall.
Yeah, J.R. Mormont.
Yeah. J.R. just like from Dallas.
J.R. Mormont?
Who shot J.R.?
Okay. What do you mean by he works at the wall? It's not like he commutes there. It's his 9-to-5 gig.
Yeah, so...
He's Lord Commander of the Night's Watch. That's a little bit more than just, Can
I ask you something real quick? Did J.R. Mormont, did he have to take the vow just like Jon Snow?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
So how does he have...
How does he have a son?
Jorge Mormont. He's not.
Jorge?
Who's the guy that's friends with Danny?
Jorah Mormont?
Jorah.
Yeah, it's confusing. It's J.R. and Jorah.
Jorah, how is he related to the High Commander?
He's a son.
How does he have a kid if he took a vow?
Because he had the kid first, then took the vow.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Does he...
The vows aren't retroactive.
Was he married? They're not retroactive?
They're not.
Was he ever married?
I'm assuming so because Jorah Mormont is noble born. He's not a bastard, so he must have been.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I'm learning things here on our end of the season wrap up.
Yeah.
Well, Ben, so now I like it, and now I like it so much I made a list of things I like about it.
Yeah, and obviously I've been a book fan, before, so I had a pretty good feeling that I was going to love the series, and I was not disappointed.
Your character development was much less than mine. You basically kind of stayed the same status quo.
I'm just much farther along with you, and I'm getting really pumped up to read Dance with Dragons in like 10 days.
10 days.
Well, I haven't done an exact count, but roughly 10 days from now.
Okay.
July 12th, and today is July 1st, so that's 11 days!
Wow, amazing. Yeah. I just dropped my awards on
help you out.
Thank you.
I'm glad you didn't light it on fire at the beginning.
So, Ben, before we actually go to our awards, and this will kind of tie into some of our awards, but we had a viewer request.
Oh.
Could I read this first?
Yeah, somebody sent in a few questions.
Yes, DocBean79.
Hey, Doc.
Hey, Doc. Has made a comment, and here's what he said. For next time, could you answer these questions?
Yes.
Who are you rooting for?
Oh.
Okay. I'll have to answer some of these because you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
What are your predictions for North of the Wall, Dany's new Khalasar, and Starks versus Lannisters versus Baratheon brothers?
I've got some predictions for those.
Okay.
But again, I should probably keep my mouth shut.
Who are your favorite characters? And we'll talk about that during the award ceremony. And do you think we'll be let down by the CGI for the dire wolves and the dragons? Let me answer that first.
Okay.
I don't think so, because I think that in this case, those elements of the show can make or break it. If the CGI is too bad, it could take you out of the story, and so far they've done a great job of not doing things that will take you out of the story. So I am trusting that also because of how popular they were, ratings-wise.
Yeah.
I think HBO will probably give them a little bit more money to work with.
I hope so. I'm worried about it for budget reasons. We didn't see much direwolves this season, and it was budget stuff. We missed out on major battles for budget reasons. I'm worried that the dragons are gonna not get their fair shake because of money.
The fact that he asks this makes me wonder if he's read the books, because it sounds like he's guessing that the direwolves and the dragons are going to play a more important role in book 2. So
well, you just know they're going to continue on the story.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, you saw dragons at the end of the last episode. They might be back for the second season.
So direwolves.
Spoiler alert.
Direwolves, are they? You know, they grew pretty fast. I know that we had the time went faster to us than it did to them.
Yeah.
But do direwolves keep on growing bigger and bigger and become giant wolves like dragon-sized?
I don't believe so.
Because wouldn't it be cool if here's a prediction for next season.
200-foot dire wolf.
It's like
versus full-size dragon.
Dragon versus huge dire wolf. There it is. You heard it here first.
Yeah, Game of Thrones will be retitled Dragon versus Wolf next season. It's just going to be hour-long fights.
So I'm saying I will not be let down. You are saying you will be let down.
No, I'm saying I'm a little worried about it, but I trust the showrunners have done a great job so far, so I trust them. I just think there's some reason to be concerned.
He also asked me who I'm rooting for.
Yeah.
When it comes to Lannisters, Baratheons, Starks. Well, obviously I like Robb Stark because
now you know the four sides that are kind of emerging at the end of the season.
Well, Stannis, Renly, Joffrey, or Robb.
Yep.
So, I like Robb because we've been trained as viewers to like the Starks. Yeah. So it's hard.
You guys have been buds.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm gonna bring up Robb on my list, and we'll talk about that later. And it might not be.
We might not have some good things to say about Robb.
But you know who else I like, even though we've never met him? Stannis. And here's the reason. I like the fact that he is officially supposed to be next in line. Mm-hmm. And you know, as an honorable person myself, I like to kind of stick with the rules. And so Stannis seems like a good choice, but I don't know what kind of character he has, so I can't really support him yet. I'd have to see what his platform is, what his policies would be if in office.
Yeah.
So but obviously Joffrey, my least favorite possible candidate for high kingship.
Yes.
And Renly, I don't have any bad feelings against him.
Yeah.
But he'd be my third pick. So Robb, Stannis. I'm gonna tie them up. Renly and then Joffrey. I'm not gonna tie them up. I'm gonna put them as a tie for top pick.
All I will say is that all of the Baratheon brothers, Robert, Renly, and Stannis, are all very different.
Oh, well, that's
so
good to
you'll
know.
have some stuff to look forward to there. But I will not tell you anything more about his character.
What are your predictions for the north of the wall? Okay, well, I'm really excited about what's up.
So at the end of this last episode, we saw them. They were riding north, you know, in search of Benjen Stark and what happened to him, and we know the others are out there, the White Walkers, as we call them. There's bad stuff.
You know, to be honest, nothing against Benjen, but I know he's friends with Jon Snow, which is one of my favorite characters. But I don't really feel attached to Benjen. I don't care about that part of the storyline. I'm more interested.
Do you know why he's important, though, beyond just that he's a Stark?
This is what I think. I think that to Jon Snow, he is kind of a father figure.
There's a very real reason why he's important. He's the first ranger on the Night's Watch. So where Lord of Commander Mormont is head of everybody, he's head of the Rangers. So he's a really, really important guy in the Night's Watch.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So there's some practical reasons why they want to find him.
Oh, it's not just because he's a nice guy?
No.
Okay. So,
we'll send the entire army out because he's a nice guy.
So I'm most excited to see a fight with the White Walkers. Or I just want to see what's going on with them.
Yeah.
They were some of the first characters we met in the entire show, and then we never saw them again.
Yeah.
Once. We saw the ghouls.
Yeah.
We never saw the White Walkers themselves. Actually, I didn't think I would want to, but I do want to go back and watch that first scene over.
Yeah.
Because now that I have all the information, it probably would be more.
I would suggest that there's a lot of rewatch value for someone like you who was a first comer to the series. Just because there's so much information, it's such a dense world, you'd pick up a lot more rewatching those early episodes.
I just thought of something else. I guess I don't know if it is a he or she. Doc Bean 79 also asked, "What do I think about Dany's or one of my predictions for Dany's new Khalasar.
Yeah.
When I talked about who might be in the running for High Kingship, I forgot to bring up Dany, who now that she has 3 dragons, she would be my top pick. I forget about what I said before because
Sure, Rob.
I don't care about
Rob.
Yeah, Dany's the best. So
And you talked about like rightful claims. That's what you thought about Stannis.
yeah, Targaryens.
Dany has a rightful claim.
Yeah. So okay, yeah. So you heard it here first. Dany, number 1. Rob, Stannis, Renly, Joffrey at the bottom.
Cool.
That's my picks. So I think that they are going to be. I think we'll see in season 2 probably the rise to power of this new. So Khalasar, the way that this person said it sounds like is that kind of their people, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of the group.
Okay.
They're with.
So they'll probably have to get more people because they don't really have a kingdom so much right now.
Dany might have a little bit of building to do before she's ready to.
So season 2 is going to be, I would guess, see the building of Dany's kingdom, who she rules over, and then also a growing of her power.
Interesting prediction. Anything else on there before we get to our?
Let's go to it. So I think let's just go all out of order because we've got some really important ones.
Save the big ones for the end.
All right. Well,
but where do you want to start?
Let us start with
Gotta choose.
most pointless character.
Roz.
Give me a reason why.
Okay, so Roz really wasn't in the book. I guess somebody said in the comments she was like briefly in one scene or whatever. I'll take their word for it, but she certainly was not the hugely important character they made her in the series. She took time away from other characters who were in the series, who are important, really bugged me. I didn't care for her character one bit.
This is what I think about Roz, and she is also my pick for most pointless. But although I do have a good runner-up. I think that the reason she got so much screen time is because HBO is HBO, and they had to do some of the stuff that HBO does.
I agree.
And Roz became their...
Which is unfortunate. You didn't need to change the story in that way. And there's enough of those elements in there anyway, just if HBO wanted to have sex and stuff, they just stick to the book, even if that's what you want to do. No need for that character.
So my runner-up would be Walder Frey.
How is he unimportant?
Well, here's what we saw with him. He was only in 1 episode. First of all...
He's pointless, though?
Runner-up, not number 1.
Oh,
let me say it. I'm going to justify it. They had to go to him to let them cross the bridge to do the battle. So, what if, story-wise, they could have just crossed any old bridge. They didn't have to choose that one. Why did they have to cross right there? They made a whole scene about this guy who has tons of wives. So to me, as a person that hasn't read the books and doesn't know a lot about the inner workings of the phrase, I didn't see him as super important. And I don't see him coming back too much for any more scenes next year.
I'm gonna bite my tongue here because I.
But can you see what I'm saying from a non-reader of the books?
I'm saying that you have not seen enough to be able to make that call.
Okay. Well then,
that someday, I will not say when, but at a certain point, you will stand here on this show and admit to me that you are wrong in what you are saying.
We're talking about season 1. Okay.
I guarantee it.
Fine. But we're talking about what I'm saying.
But a character in season 1 is laying groundwork for future storylines. That's not pointless. That's preparing for stuff that's going to happen later on.
Runner-up. I agreed with you.
I'll give you a better runner-up.
Okay, give me a better one.
Shay.
But Shay is... Okay, first of all, Tyrion is one of the best characters.
Totally.
He's now going to be the hand of the king.
Yeah.
Shay is like one of his closest confidants. To me, she's not pointless.
No. But she's far more pointless than Walder Frey is. Trust me.
Okay, you're talking in the future. I'm talking about what have we seen.
I'm saying that stuff right now that we have seen is laying the groundwork for the future. You can't disconnect the two.
Same thing for Shay then. She's going to King's Landing
not
with the hand.
important a character as Walder Frey is. Trust me.
Alright, fine. I can only speak to what I've seen. I've seen Walder Frey introduce the fact that he has tons of kids, 8 wives. He helped them cross a bridge. That's all we've seen.
Okay.
Pointless so far.
I'm gonna
let's
mark this clip. This is July 1st, 2011, and I will be pulling this clip out.
I'm just saying...
And you will be admitting to me someday that you are wrong.
I'm saying he could become pointful right now, pointless right now.
No. Right now you haven't seen his point, but that does not make him pointless.
Okay, I can accept that.
Okay.
Would you like to pick the next category?
Okay, wow, are we going to fight this bitterly over all of them? Alright, I feel a bit betrayed by you choosing Walder Frey, Matt, and so I would like to go to most devastating betrayal. There was a great many of them.
Yes.
A great many of them. Let me see what I have here. You go first.
Well, I only have one.
Only one.
I didn't even have. I mean, there's an obvious runner-up. I'm guessing that's what you're gonna pick since it was like your favorite scene. So I'll just give mine first.
Okay.
Which was Khal Drogo's witch doctor. I don't know her name.
Oh, Mira Mazdul.
This was
that
a mess.
that was a major betrayal.
Because I don't know if you share my feelings on this, viewers, but Khal Drogo, I thought was one of the best characters. I did not see his death coming, and I thought for sure this what's her name? What?
Mira Mazdul.
I thought Mira was going to actually help because Dany saved her. Now she can save the husband.
Yeah.
Turns out she was just a schemer, and she got what she had coming. To me, biggest betrayal because it didn't only lead to Khal Drogo's death, also to the baby Rhaego, the stallion who would mount the world.
Yeah. I gotta go here, and you call it Littlefinger and Ned. You know, that was a huge moment in the series. My favorite scene in season 1.
Yeah.
Really well, brilliantly done. Fantastic betrayal. Littlefinger totally played Ned throughout the entire season. Couple runners up for you, though.
I'm going to tell you something. I hope this doesn't hurt your feelings.
It's going to hurt my feelings. I'm going to be betrayed by you.
I really felt like, as we're doing these videos, you kept on hinting to me so strongly that I shouldn't trust Littlefinger, that when the betrayal came, I wasn't surprised at all. It was like...
I think you'll understand why I did when you listen to the book, because it's obvious from his first scene in the book that he's not to be trusted.
Okay, so... To me, it was like, all right, well, whatever.
But again, you're looking at it from an audience perspective. You have to look at it from Ned's perspective. What was the most devastating betrayal? Not where it was a shock to us as an audience, because we're supposed to see it coming, I think. It's what, from the character's perspective, is most devastating.
Okay, who are your runners-up?
My runners-up would be Cersei betraying Robert.
Yes, I thought about that one also.
Again, one that we all saw coming, but from a character perspective, it's huge. And then my other one here is Joffrey betraying everyone and choosing to execute Ned.
Oh, I just thought of one myself. Yes, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Not to be overlooked. But here's a betrayal. Cersei betraying Jaime.
Oh, with Lancel.
Ooh, disgusting.
Oops. Maybe we should go then to most dysfunctional relationship.
Most dysfunctional relationship?
Yeah.
Well...
Oh, there's a lot of choices here. There are lots and lots of choices.
Why don't you give me your number one first, and I'll give you my number one, and we can look at our runners-up.
You know, to me, like I said, lots of choices, but there was a clear relationship that stood out ahead of the pack. Lysa Arryn and her son Robert. Oh my God!
No, it's Robin.
Oh, Robin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yes, definitely something not right about that.
That was messed up.
I mean, I've heard of women breastfeeding till their kids were of older age.
It's
so
like 10!
Yeah, he is pretty old, but that is bad.
That's so screwed up.
Don't get me wrong.
You're saying you got a worse one?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear this.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, breastfeeding up until the point of 8, 9, 10, that is too old, and not...
But it wasn't just the breastfeeding. It's that she's crazy.
Yes, she is crazy. Yeah. So that is dysfunctional. But can you definitively say that breastfeeding a kid too old is more dysfunctional than actually sleeping with your twin sister?
I figured that's what you were going to go with. Here's my argument.
So Jaime and Cersei, that's my pick for most dysfunctional. That's definitely my
top runner-up.
Yeah, I mean, that is messed up. That's dysfunctional.
But at least in that case, there is genuine love between them. And I'm not saying it makes it right. It's screwed up. But that puts it just a notch below.
Are you saying Lysa doesn't love Robin?
She probably shouldn't.
She's providing for him. Sustenance.
That's really messed up, dude. Yeah, thank you for making my point. Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Do you have any other runners up?
Actually, a few more, all involving Cersei. Cersei's really dysfunctional.
You take one, I've got one, and then you take another one.
Cersei and Robert?
That's pretty dysfunctional. What about this? Joffrey and Sansa.
Yep, that's messed up.
They are soon to be wed, perhaps?
Yeah.
That's not going to be a good relationship.
Cersei and Joffrey?
No, what do you think is dysfunctional about that?
That she's a terrible mother to him.
She is.
Lets him do whatever he wants.
She is, but there's bad mothers in the world. Talk a little bit more about.
Well, it's a runner-up. I'm not saying it's the top one, but it's a dysfunctional relationship.
Okay.
And do you have any more runners-up?
Yep, that's it for me.
Cersei and Lancel.
Yeah.
She really loves her family.
I don't get that. Still, I don't really get what her motivation is, other than is it just pleasure?
pleasure manipulation. There's actually people had a pretty good debate going in the comments on one of our videos on that. And some people were saying, no, it's all political. She's just, manipulating him. And other people were saying, no, she's doing this because he's kind of her replacement for Jaime. I think it's a mix of the two.
I like my theory that she's trying to keep a pure blood.
She's not trying to conceive.
What is her last name? Lannister.
She's not trying to conceive.
I know, but I like that theory. It seems.
But your theory is proved wrong by the facts in the book.
Oh, okay. Well, then that will do it. All right. Next up, most drunk award.
Oh, Robert.
Yeah, King Robert. For sure.
Oh, why, your grace?
but Tyrion seems to be trying to fight for...
he's the runner-up. Okay. He's clearly the runner-up here, but it's got to be Robert.
Yeah, I guess, that's true.
When you get so drunk that you get skewered by a wild boar, and when all somebody has to do to assassinate you is plan to get you really, really drunk, you've gone too far.
Yes, definitely true. And didn't he explain his alcohol abuse once?
You might have.
Isn't it something about the fact that he lost sister of Ned?
Yes, Lyanna.
Yeah. Do you think that's the background? Do you think he drinks to just not think about that?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. Speaking of people doing stupid things, our hero in the story, Edward Stark, good guy. Not the brightest bulb on the Christmas tree.
You're right. I mean, there comes this point where you have to really think. Should I do the right thing?
Yeah.
Or should I do the smart thing? No, I'm not trying. Obviously, we like doing the right thing here at the Sci-Fi Christian.
We're in favor of doing the right thing.
But sometimes you have to weigh your options and think about your family. Think about how this is all going to turn out.
The kingdom.
So what do we call this award?
This is the biggest Ned is an idiot moment of season 1.
All right.
Really, of the whole series.
Why don't you take yours first, and I'll take mine.
Oh, there's a lot of possibilities.
There is a lot.
You might have a different one, and I can't argue with you, but I ultimately had to come down with Ned going to Cersei and saying, guess what I know?
Yeah.
I know that you've been sleeping with your brother, and the kids are his.
Yes.
And I'm just expecting you to leave now.
This is my pick also. Because this is the worst. No good character goes to their number one enemy and tells them...
talk?
Yeah.
I know what you're planning to do.
Let's talk privately. I know your whole plan. Yeah. So I'll let you leave. Go ahead. Everything. And then I'm going to go tell Robert. No, this is bad. But it's not the only dumb thing he did.
No, there's... Renly comes to him and says, I got this great plan, bro. We can get out of this. How dare you! Robert isn't dead yet! He'll be dead in 15 minutes! But so long as he's still alive, I will not accept your plan!
Oh, you kind of sounded like Admiral Adama there for a second.
Maybe. Maybe that.
What else? Next one.
The biggest one of all. Littlefinger expressly tells you, don't trust me, and what do? Trust Littlefinger.
Yeah.
So, Ned, seriously, dude, maybe going south with Robert. There's a lot of.
Do you think he should have done that? Oh, could he have said no to the king?
Yeah.
How do you say no to the king?
If his friend.
All right.
Made an excuse. I don't know.
All right, Ben. Next up, the Littlest Finger Award.
Yeah, you emailed this to me today as a category, and I have no idea. I guess Littlefinger wins this award.
Correct. Littlefinger wins the Littlest Finger Award.
Do you have a runner-up?
Arya. And Bran.
What about Tyrion?
No.
He's got pretty little fingers. He's a little guy.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
According to Roz.
Yeah. Very nice.
Okay, next.
Nicely put. Alright, we've talked about pointless characters, Matt.
Yes.
I want to know, which character did you feel was not pointless but underdeveloped in this season? Who do you want to see better developed in season 2?
Yep. I told you I might be saying something about Robb Stark, and I felt like Robb Stark, even though we saw him sort of rise to power, it wasn't...
You want to see a bit more?
I want to see more of Robb Stark. I think I can like this guy. At first I didn't know. It kind of was like, at first he seemed sort of like a jerk. Kind of not humble, not really nice to some of the other people. Yeah. And then suddenly he was kind of leading the whole family in a good way, so then you want to like him. And now he might be king of the North. Well, it seems like he is king of the North now.
Yep.
So
they did
it's
kind of declare him king of the North.
Jumping around.
Yep.
As opposed to other characters that we've seen develop very smoothly and
definitely
it made sense how it all happened. So Robb would be who I would like to see more development in season 2.
Yeah, I agree with you for the first half of the season, but I think they did a good job with him in the second half of season 1.
Yeah.
So, in terms of season 2, actually my top pick is Cersei. She's a much better developed character in the books. I think there was something like where the actress who was playing her was pregnant, or something like that. I might be wrong on that, but so she wasn't able to be in it quite as much. But I felt like Cersei was really underutilized, so I would like to see more of her in season 2. Who do you have as a runner-up?
I didn't write any runners up for this one, but while you talk about
Bran.
Bran, I mean that's good.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's hard for me to remember the kids. Nothing against the kids.
Well, there you go. That's my argument.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, Bran seems interesting. What I'm really interested about when it comes to Bran is, does he have the power to see the future? Mm-hmm. What's up with the three-eyed crow?
Yeah.
I mean, that's probably one of the most interesting things that could come. Maybe, I mean, I'm guessing this is going to be one of those ongoing mysteries that we're not going to get resolution to, where we'll see it throughout season 2, season 3, but we're not going to really know until it gets close to the end what the crow dreams are all about.
Mayhaps.
Mayhaps?
Mayhaps.
Okay.
Did you say to go get something? You said you were going to go get something while I talked.
Oh, I said I'll think about I'll think about some of my runners up while you give some of yours.
Okay, and then I just gave one. All right, Matt. I've got a category for you.
Wait.
Is it
have you named all of your...
Yeah, that's the only runner-up.
Okay, well, let's just stop there.
Which character is most in need of a trip to the psycho ward? And
Well,
Mehdi.
I don't think there could be any argument. We've already made it clear.
Lysa Arryn?
Yeah, no, Lysa, totally, right? Isn't there Lysa?
No, her married name is Lysa Arryn. Yeah.
Lysa Arryn, definitely.
Yeah, she needs the men with the white coats.
She's nuts, like very nuts.
Oh yeah, and she's ruling a castle.
Yeah, so that's not good. And I think Robin, her son, is on the way to being second person most in need of being in the psych ward.
Oh,
this kid does not have a
runner-up.
Huh?
Not my runner-up.
He does not have a bright future though.
This is true.
But he'll always be full. And you can't say anything bad about a full stomach.
He won't be making any decisions on an empty stomach.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, there's one scene towards the end of the season where it's, I'm hungry!
Yeah, and he's like pawing at her.
So screwed up, man.
It is messed up.
It was horrible.
Okay.
My runner-up, Gregor Clegane, the mountain that rides. This dude severed a horse's head.
Wait, what was the question? Oh yeah, crazy.
Crazy character.
Yeah, he is crazy.
You could make an argument that Gregor isn't crazy.
He burned the hound's face at a young age.
Yeah. You could make an argument that he's just evil and not crazy, but I think that he could maybe do with a little bit of therapy, a couple of pills, and maybe a little time in a padded cell.
That makes sense. Do you have any other runners-up? Because I have a good segue into my next category.
Go for it.
You talked about he might just be evil. I got one for you. How about the best villain of the year?
Oh, yeah, there's some good choices there.
Well, I will tell mine while you think of yours.
Okay.
Best villain, according to me, Matt Anderson, is Joffrey.
Oh, yeah.
Pre-king and post-king. He was just bad from the start. Which is another thing. I'll be kind of happy that when I go back and rewatch this, to see the scenes early on, because when you first see him, you think, this kid's a jerk, but I don't really care about him.
You don't know how evil he is till later on.
Not only do I not know how evil he is, I didn't know how important he would be to the show. I had there was not even a hint in my mind that he was going to end up becoming the king by the end of the season. So, yeah, you're right. This show does have a high rewatch value.
Totally, and I think you'll get a lot out of listening to the book.
Yeah. So that is my biggest villain choice.
I can't disagree with you. I mean, you could throw Cersei up there that maybe she's pulling the strings, but even there, it's like that final scene in episode 9. Cersei doesn't want Ned executed. Joffrey does it for no other reason than that he's evil.
Yeah, Cersei was one of the first people that came to my mind, but that scene where she was crying out no and she didn't want, even though it was calculated, it's not that she cares about Ned.
Right, it was political, but still.
It shows that she had some heart. Yeah. Whereas Joffrey seems like he has no heart. In fact, some of our commenters, and I don't believe this is any sort of spoiler because most of us haven't read the book, but some of the commenters were comparing Joffrey to the Mad King that we've heard about. Mm-hmm. So, do you have any thoughts on that? Or
I think it will be an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah. So
that's probably all I should say.
All right.
But Joffrey, not a cool guy. And then, the other thing he does that it's just awful is that he has his guards beat Sansa for him. Not only is he abusive,
Yeah.
he doesn't have the balls to do it himself. He makes his guards do it for him. He's just all around horrible.
His mom told him not to hit a woman.
Yeah. Despicable individual.
Hey, I got one that I don't think you can speak to.
Oh.
Because you probably know. But my category is most likely soon to be a traitor.
Oh, yeah, I probably should not
but
volunteer the information.
I've already talked about this on the show.
Hodor, yes.
Hodor. So,
spoiler alert.
Yeah, this is who I think is going to be a betrayer.
Okay.
At some point next season. Theon Greyjoy.
Interesting.
I've been talking about this earlier on the show, not tonight, but in the past. This guy, they're setting him up. He's kind of being abused, so
everybody's like, you don't belong here.
Yeah, right, with that exact accent.
I'm really good at accents, especially British ones.
I know. So, anyways, I feel like, I kind of feel bad for him right now, but I'm guessing he'll do something mean eventually, and then I won't care anymore. So, he is going to be a bad guy eventually. You heard it here first.
Interesting.
What's your next category?
I have only big categories left. Let's go with best storyline. What was your favorite storyline of the year, Matt?
Okay, well, I already hinted at it, but my favorite story, I mean, there was a lot. It's hard to choose from because I really like what we saw with Jon Snow. I like his reasonings for going to the wall. I liked Ned, and I like kind of seeing all the action down by King's Landing, but if there's one story that I was most drawn to, it would have to be Dany's story.
Mm-hmm. Her character arc was incredible.
Oh my gosh.
This season.
When it comes to character development, there is no one that even compares to what they did with her from episode 1 to episode 10.
Yeah.
And I didn't, even though I knew I liked her as a character, I had no idea she would become almost the main character of the whole show, right?
Goes from a scared and frightened little girl to the mother of dragons.
Yeah.
You can't have a better character arc than that.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Did you have any runners up?
You've already mentioned Jon at the Wall. That was one of them. The other one, I love the storyline of Tyrion getting captured by Catelyn, taken to the Eyrie, where he meets Bronn and gives his confession, and that's such a great storyline.
Bronn's another character I was not expecting him to become important, and now he's Tyrion's best friend. Good. I've got a new category that you don't know about.
Oh, surprise category.
Surprise category. Ben, what was your favorite nipple shaving scene?
Well, Matt, there was only one nipple shaving scene, and I'm not sure the word favorite applies to it.
Do you want to tell everybody who it was?
No, I don't really want to dwell on that.
Renly with the Knight of Flowers, whose real name is
Loras Tyrell.
And we had the listeners go back and listen. Was it Knight of Flowers as you thought, or was it Knight of Roses as I thought? It's split still to this day.
No, it's not, because it's in the book.
Oh.
So I got George R. R. Martin on my team on that one.
Alright, you win.
Yeah, thank you.
Alright. I'm looking through our list here. I think I have used up all of my made-up categories.
Okay, well, you were talking about Bronn a second ago. Let's go to Best Supporting Character.
That's not on my list. You didn't put Best Supporting Character.
I told you right before we started recording.
Okay, then you tell yours first, and I'll tell you mine.
This is another tough choice. I mean, you've got so many good supporting characters in there. I might actually have to go with Bronn on this one. I love Bronn. He's a great character. Other guys I would throw in there, Varys, Jorah Mormont, really got fleshed out. Sam. There's some really good choices here, but Bronn and Tyrion just have such an interesting dynamic together, and I thought it was brilliantly brought to life in the series. So I'm going to have to say Bronn.
I'm surprised you didn't say the sword guy.
Well, Ciro Farrell is cool, but he was only in a couple scenes.
So you wouldn't consider him supporting?
Well, I would, but he really didn't have quite enough screen time to make my cut on there.
Interesting. Mine is going, honestly, I didn't think about this one ahead of time, but as you were naming off people, I like Sam. I really like this Varys guy.
Yeah, Varys is awesome.
So to me, he's the most interesting. In fact, I did forget to tell you one of my categories. Most intriguing character. I'm going to give it to Varys. Who would you say for most intriguing character of the year?
Tyrion.
Tyrion? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, he's definitely great.
Yeah.
I guess what I meant by intriguing. Okay. What I meant by intriguing is
mysterious, perplexing.
Mysterious. Who do I want to know more about? I like him in different scenes.
I'll give you one that we haven't mentioned who fits both this and the best supporting character.
Okay.
The Hound.
Oh, the
Sandor
Hound.
Clegane. Yeah. Very not intriguing in the same way Varys is, where it's like what's his motivation, but the Hound's a very complex character.
Good.
Matt, we've talked about a lot of good things,
Yeah.
but before we get to our best of the best actor, best character, best episode, all that fun stuff,
Yeah.
what's your biggest disappointment of season 1? Both love the show,
Yeah.
but what was the one or two things that just didn't work for you?
Oh, actually, when I read biggest disappointment, what I was thinking is what was I most upset about that happened on the show.
Oh.
So not what didn't work for me.
Okay, well, yeah, however,
So this
maybe I answered it more your way anyway. So.
Okay. So one thing that really upset me is the fact that I was viewing this world through Ned's eyes. He was the protagonist, the character that we followed and loved.
Yep.
And to lose him was a big disappointment.
Well, his eyes are still there. He's mounted on a spike.
Correct. But I would have liked to have him. I mean, I'm sure storyline-wise, this is going to be a catalyst for a whole bunch of great things.
Yeah.
But not being able to see that quite yet, I would have liked to have kept Ned.
But even thematically, it really sets the world up as a place that's different than what we expect. We're used to stories where the hero gets through and he's the one who achieves, and Ned does all these things and they work out perfectly.
Yeah.
And this is a very different sort of world.
It is. Okay, I don't know if you remember this, but when you first read the book and this scene was first discussed amongst reading fans, do you remember what your reaction was?
No. There's a scene later on in book 3. And I won't say anything more about it, but huge scene. And I remember very well my reaction to that. So when we get there in 2 years, I'll share that with you.
Very nice. So, Ben, what would be your biggest disappointment?
I was disappointed by a couple things, and this is coming as a book fan, so my perspective's a little different. I thought the direwolves are really underutilized. Did not like that. I thought they could have done a lot more with them.
Yeah.
And then also the lack of battles. You know, especially this was really, really strongly felt in episode 9, where there was 2 huge battle scenes that we just skipped over altogether.
From what I understand, though, and you could probably speak to this better, that even in the book they weren't really shown that much. So did we miss a lot?
No, but it would have been nice to see something, and there was nothing. And I understand it, it's budget stuff, still disappointed by it, even if it's understandable reasons.
I heard also, and I can't remember if we talked about this on the show or off air, but Ghost, the direwolf, not supposed to
He's not
speak.
supposed to make sound.
And
he doesn't speak.
You know, like Dodge.
Hey, John.
Hey, John, let's go. We better get out of here. The ghouls are coming.
If that starts happening, we might have
speak.
We'll have a whole new
when you're like, Dog, speak, and they're like, woof, woof. So, anyways.
Yeah.
So Ghost is supposed to be quiet like a ghost.
Yeah.
And he makes bark wolf sounds.
He does.
So,
bark wolf sounds.
So that's not good.
That wasn't good.
So that's my biggest disappointment of the year.
Okay.
Breaking from the book, not cool.
Yeah.
What would George R.R. Martin say?
I think he was pretty pleased with the series
overall.
Best child actor, Matt.
Oh my gosh, well, I think this is pretty easy.
Totally.
Aria, for sure.
Yeah.
But I know that you're going to say her too, so I'm just going to go ahead and keep talking.
Maisie Williams. Yeah, she was great.
I didn't know her real name. Joffrey, though, as a bad guy, I think he did a great job.
He was my runner-up. Let me see if I have his name down here. Jack Gleeson, the kid who played Joffrey, who was also, did you know he was in Batman Begins?
No.
Briefly?
What was he?
Remember there's a scene where the Scarecrow puts the fear gas into like some apartment there, and there's a little blonde kid.
He's like a nice kid, isn't he?
Yeah. And Batman gives him his little piece of equipment.
Now that you're saying that, I can picture him.
That's Joffrey.
Oh, I can picture that kid.
We knew that kid was up to no good.
Yeah, all along.
Yeah.
He's probably working for the Scarecrow.
Totally.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ben, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What would be your biggest shock or surprise of the year?
Well, I was not really surprised by anything. I've read the books many times.
You're right. You have. That's kind of the whole point of this video.
I'd kind of like to toss that one back to you.
Ben, I will tell you. Yeah, I know. No, that didn't go very smoothly, did it?
Great category, bro.
I should have let you ask me this question.
Yeah.
To me, biggest shock, I mean, there was a lot of good ones, but the Golden Crown scene,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, this might be, I don't know if we're going to talk about favorite scene later, but
We can.
this is my favorite scene. I mean, there was different things I liked that happened, but as single scenes go...
Even though you were watching this scene like this.
I wasn't watching it like that.
Coloring on my couch like this.
I don't think I even watched it with you.
You did.
No,
we were watching that one together.
No, we weren't. I watched it at home, I'm positive.
Well, there's other scenes where you watched them like that.
That's true. I don't like violence. Yeah, this one I actually watched at home. Might have been making that. I might have been doing this. Possibly.
But you still liked it.
I did.
Yeah, my favorite scene would have to be, I already mentioned it, Littlefinger betraying Ned. That was so well done. Such a perfectly executed scene.
Yeah.
And speaking of execution, runner-up would be Ned getting executed. Mm-hmm. And of course the dragons at the end. There's a lot of great scenes.
Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The dragons. Yeah, that was awesome because I like dragons.
Pretty sweet. All right.
What do we got left?
Best actor overall. Who did the best job?
Oh, man, there was a lot of good ones, but there's one to me that stands out. You think you know who it is?
Peter Dinklage.
Is that Tyrion?
Yeah.
Yeah, Tyrion was so awesome.
Oh my gosh. So this is best actor right now, not best character. But
As an actor, he stole every scene he was in.
He was amazing.
He walks into any scene, he's on the screen, you can't help but want to listen to every word he says, watch everything he does. Yep. He was easily hands down the best actor.
Yeah. Runners up. Sean Bean.
Yeah, he was good.
Emilia Clarke, who played Dany.
Yeah, she was good.
And she's never acted before, I don't believe.
No, I didn't know. What did she do before?
I don't know. Stuff.
High school. Speaking of that, as I was reading through reviews and whatnot after the show ended, I heard that the character of Dany is supposed to be like 17 in the book. Is that true?
Younger than that.
Really?
She's like 15 in the book.
Oh my gosh, then it's kind of weird that some of the scenes would be a little awkward with her at that age.
Why do you think they age all the child actors?
Oh, is that the reason?
Like every single child character, they age by like 3 years.
That's what I heard, 3 or 4 years?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, across the board?
Pretty much, yeah.
Wow.
Like Rickon, who's the youngest Stark, who you only saw a little bit of, he's supposed to be 3.
Okay.
Which is why you were like, why do you name his dog, or his wolf Shaggy Dog? Well, it's 3 years old in the book. Okay. That's why.
Okay.
So, yeah, obviously something they had to do for the series, and good thing they did it, because otherwise it would not have been cool.
And probably against the law.
Yeah.
I think even on television, even if the actor or actress is older than 18, they can't portray somebody under 18 and do anything inappropriate.
I mean, from the story perspective in that culture, it makes sense. From a viewer perspective, I'm very glad they did it, because that would not have been pleasant to watch.
Ben?
Yes, sir.
What was your favorite episode of the year?
My favorite episode, I'm going to have to go with episode 7, You Win or You Die. And again, this had my favorite scene.
Yeah.
And, you know, I keep talking about it, but I love that twist at the ending. I think it's one of the best moments in the book. To me, if you were to give something that's most shocking in the series, even though I wasn't shocked by it because I knew it was coming, that scene was so well done. I just love the entire episode, and the setup with Littlefinger is fantastic.
You can see right here, You Win or You Die is one of my runner-ups.
Yeah.
I thought of the episode Golden Crown because I liked that ending scene so much, but then when I actually thought about what else happened in that episode, I can't really remember.
Yeah.
But what I can remember is that every scene in the episode Fire and Blood, the finale, was amazing.
Totally.
So as a whole episode, Fire and Blood is my pick for #1 episode.
Or Baylor, episode 9. Mm-hmm. You know, there's some really good choices in there. It's tough to choose. But though I would say that episodes in the second half of the season were definitely stronger.
Yes, for sure.
Not that things were bad earlier on, but there's a lot of setup.
Do you remember when I complained that one time after episode 3, I think, about how it just kind of ended...
Too slow.
Yeah, it just ended randomly. And other people have also said that was the weakest ending, but pretty much every episode besides that had a strong finish.
Definitely.
So I did not stand alone in that opinion.
Yeah. All right, Matt. Final category I have. Best character. Who, out of all, we've so many great characters. Ones you love to hate.
I'm going to only
Who's your top?
I'm going to give my #1, and then you give your #1, then we can talk about our runners-up. By far. There's only one person. There's somebody that I love more than anybody else as a character, and that would be Tyrion.
You got it.
How can you not love him?
Dany, though,
because Dany's story was so strong, she would be my runner-up. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you just throw it? That's awesome.
Yeah, I was done.
Let's start it on fire.
We're in my office right now, so I don't know if that's the best idea you've ever had.
Can't get it. It's locked. It's locked.
Yeah.
What?
There's a reason for that.
Oh, what?
Child locks. Good things on lighters.
So anyways, so Dany should be one of my runners-up.
Definitely. Ned.
Jon Snow.
Do you even know how to run that thing, man?
I got it.
Okay.
Arya. Theon Greyjoy.
Why?
I don't know. I just like
You're just listing characters at this point. Roz.
Roz, of course. You keep names of it. I'll think of somebody else.
Okay, and this is like main characters.
Yeah, favorite characters.
Yeah, Jon Snow, Catelyn,
Viserys.
Viserys. What about Tyrion's mountain men?
Oh,
Shagar,
shit.
who wants to cut off your manhood and feed it to the goats.
Shagar?
Yeah.
That's his name?
Yeah.
I don't really care about them. Are they going to be somebody I should care about for next year?
Well, I don't know if you need to care about them. That's a little weird, but yeah, pay attention to them.
All right. Ben, speaking of next year, that's not going to be the next time that our viewers see us, is it?
No.
We'll be back here. If anything happens that is worth updating you with a video, we'll do it. But before even that happens, as I mentioned, I'm going to be listening to the audiobook.
Yeah.
So we will come back again. We're going to talk about the relationship between the book and the series. And now that both me and Ben have read it, well, at that point, we can really dissect the good and the bad.
Yeah. And then, should we do anything when Dance of Dragons comes out?
Yes. I mean, I don't know
how would that work?
I don't know how we're going to do it exactly.
It was amazing. I'm not going to give you any details. I can't even tell you the characters who are in it, but it was amazing.
I don't know. What should we do? Should you just do it alone?
I could.
And
Well, I could have a picture of you.
I could be at the intro and the outro.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think we kind of need you to review it.
I think so.
So I guess you can plan Ben doing almost solo, completely solo.
With a picture of Matt Anderson.
Okay, can we get a cutout of me?
Oh, we should work on that.
That would be awesome.
Okay, we got a couple weeks, because it'll take me a while to finish the book.
Yeah.
Because I got a lot going on, so I can't read it super fast.
But I love the title.
Dance with Dragons, yeah. Best title so far
I
of the
love
series.
dragons.
I know.
I looked at the titles of the other books, and I am intrigued by some of the title names.
The Clash of Kings.
I like the sound of A Feast for Crows.
Yes.
That sounds kind of cool, and it makes me think of the Three-Eyed Crow.
Well, because you know what crows eat.
No, I don't know what crows
Dead
eat.
bodies.
Isn't that vultures?
Crows, too. So when it says A Feast for Crows, it's because there's so many dead bodies.
Spoiler alert.
It's not a spoiler, it's war! If you don't honestly think that there are going to be casualties in this series, you haven't been paying attention.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Well, Ben, I think that's all from here.
Yeah, thank you for not burning us down, Matt.
This has been really fun. I'm glad we did this recap, but it's not over. We'll be back in just a few short weeks.
And you can always catch us every week on the Sci-Fi Christian Podcast at thesci-fi-christian.com.
That's right. We got a new website. They could still find us at sci-fi-christianpodcast.com because it redirects to our brand new website.
It doesn't redirect yet.
The sci-fi-christian.com.
Yeah.
Right here, high five. For our new website.
Amen, brother.
Well, that's all from here. I'm Matt Anderson.
I am Ben DeBona.
And we're the Sci-Fi Christians, signing off.